Hi and welcome. I'm Oracle Asherah. This is an Ascension support reading for the energies in which we live in. We are connecting to our angels, ancestors, spirit guides, spirit, our higher selves. So let's tap into these messages for everyone's best possible outcome with what we're dealing with. All right. Okay. First card is perception. All right. So when we change our perception, we change our view. We change how we experience the world. So yes, our experience is looping. Our calendar is looping. Our seasons are looping. Our experiences are looping. So when everything is always the same as we keep going, what changes? Our perception. So when our perceptions change, we experience all these things again, but differently. Okay? So it's important to be open to learning, receiving messages, evaluating our belief systems, which then have an effect on our perception and how we perceive things. So when we change how we perceive things, we can change how we experience them through in our healing. So when we heal some things around us and within us, and we change our perception, we can now experiencing something new. Okay, even if we've done this loop over and over, we've had these seasons over and over, the freedom of perception is a big deal. Okay, so past, present, and future. So as we do these loops, it's important to what we feed ourselves. So what are our belief systems? Our belief systems navigate how we operate and how we navigate our relationships. Okay, so when we evaluate our belief systems, we evaluate, why is it I believe this? Why do I allow these feelings or these overthinking to be out of balance? Okay, so we need a balance in our emotions and our brains in order to have a neutral and clear perception of what's happening. Okay? Okay, growth. All right, so we need to allow time for our growth. Without patience, we don't allow things to change, ourselves to change, and then with that, the results of our change to have long-term effects in our world, family, home, around us, and our relationships. So when we don't give enough time for things to die, rebirth, have roots, we then just resort to how we used to survive, what we used to know, how we used to perceive and think and navigate. Okay, so it's important to have patience and allow our change to flourish and the world to catch up. Because quite often the world will come at you with their perception of what they know about you. All right, so you might have a new you, a new perception, and a new way of being, but the world has not caught up to you. So what do? You have to have patience for them to see. Okay, and that's patience in yourself to exist away long enough for that to become how it is. That's how now they've learned to see you this way. Okay, so for people to learn new things takes time. Okay, for them to learn a new you takes time, and that also means boundaries within yourself. You're convinced of seeing me this way. All I can do is wait for you to see different. Okay, you can't make people see you different. You can't change their perception of you. They have to do that through what they've learned. Okay, so that is with you holding boundaries. That's you standing within your right, your power, and your free will, and to navigate with how you think is best for yourself, and for them to over time witness something new. Okay, all right, home. It is important to keep your home clean, right? So how does your closet look? How does your kitchen sink look? How do all these energies affect you? Because they do. Okay, so when we clean our home, we're also cleaning the energies that we exist in, And as we do so, we're also organizing part of our brain and our cells. So it is very important for us to clean house, whether that's how we're navigating our thoughts and feelings to the extension of what environment are we living in. Okay? All right. Unlimited possibilities. All right. So I'm going to come to miracles. Live by them and expect them. So when you are living within your magic, your prayer, wait, receive. So when you start allowing this process to have effects in your life and world, you will see that is unlimited possibilities. Your healing has unlimited potential. Your manifestation has unlimited possibilities and potential. So tapping into this part of yourself is beautiful, and I encourage it. And this takes time to witness within yourself that this is possible. So again, this comes back to patience. Praying, holding space, holding the vision, trusting the process, allowing things to shift, change, and grow, and then for the reap of the reward of the blessings and the miracles that come your way. Okay? So this takes patience. This takes time for you to power your belief and faith for these things to happen for you. Okay, so sometimes it starts with, I don't necessarily believe that. I'll try. We don't give enough power and belief in the try, enough patience in the try, that nothing ever comes to full fruition for us to have this clear and profound experience which changes our perception and how we live. Okay, so we have to have the patience and allow things to play out. If we're always driving and forcing things, we're putting our hand in something, not allowing the miracles of everything working for us, which is the universe, our ancestors, our spirit guides, our angels, to have an effect. Okay, we cut them off before they have a chance, and therefore we never believe because we never have this experience. Okay, stripping of illusions. This takes, again, our seeking, our questioning, our willingness to learn something new. If we are stubborn within our beliefs and our belief systems, we're not going to have a shift in perception. We're not going to have a shift in how we view and navigate the world. So these illusions then become the cage with what we live in. Okay? So I encourage you to be magical, live with prayer, trust the vision, hold the process, be patient, and witness the miracles happening for you because A, you allowed it, B, you prayed for it, and your faith and belief is what allowed it. Okay, so you have to believe in something and allow it to show up. Okay, you can't force the hand, you can't create it. We are creatures of creating, but we also, if you want this magical experience, you have to allow the participation and then build that relationship. Okay, retreat. Sometimes when we take a step back, we retreat from our involvement in whatever situations are unfolding. We allow things to what? Resolve themselves, heal, truth and clarity. Okay, so retreat is important. So if we're in an emotional state of question, emotional state of fear, we're sabotaging things, it's important to retreat and evaluate. And then when we have that clarity, we have that wisdom, we have that energy in which we can respond in a healthy manner, then reapproach. Okay, because sometimes some things are just ours. Sometimes things are, I need to ask questions so I can be navigating from a clearer, safer place. But if we're coming at people out of fear, anger, jealousy, whatever these energies are, we are not having a healthy relationship with what we're doing. Okay, so retreat is important. So when we're in a state of panic, fear, whatever, sit back, take time to evaluate our feelings, allow for the storms to pass, or we calm our storms, and we now then can navigate from a place of neutrality, clarity, and truth. Okay? Okay. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, blessings. All right, how do we attract blessings? By changing our frequency from lessons to blessings. So how do we eliminate the lessons? Okay. Understanding that there is no right or wrong. We will always get to where we're supposed to go. And knowing that, we can make it more difficult for ourselves by navigating out of our ego, navigating out of fear or need or greed. Okay, so what energy are we in when we're making decisions and choices, right? Is it loving? Is it healing? Is it in alignment? Okay, or is it I'm doing this because I think I need to do something in order to feel better about something? Am I navigating because I think I know best? Am I navigating because this is what I think I want? Right? So we have to ask ourselves better questions. Ask ourselves, is this for me? Right? Because sometimes we choose things we think we want because it looks like what we want, but it might not necessarily be for you. What is, because you might be right with some things that are triggering that belief, but that specific thing, place, job, person, whatever, might not be correct. Okay, so allowing time to show you, okay, there's flags, this obviously is, there's probably some similarities in that experience that is correct in alignment, but it's not specifically this situation, person, or thing. Okay, so we have to hold the vision, trust the process, allow truth to present, and be like, is this for me? Is this something I should be choosing? Is this my path? Is this in alignment to the outcome I want? Okay, because sometimes we just pick things because it seems like, well, I'm tripping along, this seems right, but then we're just attracting lessons. And then if we're creating lifelong attachments to these lessons, it's going to be much harder to clean that up and get back into alignment for what the blessings are for you. Okay, so when we start navigating from love, fear, and not fear, love, alignment, and trusting our inner self, our thoughts and our feelings, trusting our guidance, we are now walking in alignment to our blessings. Okay, so we have to hold space. We don't have to physically create them, but we have to hold space for this alignment, for these things to show up and come. So that's what makes it a blessing. It came to you. You didn't have to physically create it. Yes, it takes our effort and our hard work, but that hard work is clearing our energy, healing our traumas and dramas, healing our attachments, creating healthy attachments, living with consciousness and awareness, okay? Living in choice. So when we're living in our choice, we're present in our choices and we're aware of how and why we're choosing things. Then we are now navigating in alignment to our blessings. Okay. Okay, protecting. So protecting our energy, protecting our home, our world, our relationships. Okay, so when we are committed to something, we love something, we're going to protect it. Okay, and that has to be yourself. It has to start with yourself. So if you are in, I don't want to say toxic relationships because that's inevitable. Sometimes family is toxic. Sometimes our work relationships are toxic. Sometimes the majority of the world which you walk in is toxic. Okay, so not allowing the world to make you shut down, not allowing these things to make you go cold, not allowing these things to harm ourselves. So what? We want to be loving beings. We want to be loving towards absolutely everything and everyone that is possible. Okay, but that brings in jealousy. That brings in, why are you happy? That brings in people who wants to wreck it for you, right? So you have to be aware of, what are all these people's intentions? I can be loving, I can be an example, but how can I protect myself? Boundaries. Okay, so you're not inviting these people to destroy anything you have holding dear. So that could be your loving energy, your happiness, your peace. Okay, so what do we do in situations we can't always prevent or avoid? Forgive. Okay, We constantly have to forgive because they don't know what you know. They want to know what you know, and if they can't know what you know, they're going to try and wreck you. This is just the law of nature out there. Okay, so that means you have to have that inner strength. I am not going to be destroyed. I know me. I love me. I'm going to be me. Okay, so forgiving people for being on their path and journey, forgiving people in awareness that this is where they are in their path and journey. So how can I help without putting myself at risk? How can I love without harming myself? Okay, so if you're choosing relationships and you're harming yourself, this is self-abuse. Okay, you are abusing yourself. You can't say these people are awful, they're abusive to me. You're choosing it. So therefore you have to be responsible for what you're choosing. Okay, so you can love people with boundaries. You can't have relationships with people that are abusive and harmful because now you're choosing to be beautiful and harmful for yourself for the reason that you think you love them. Okay, or you think that they love you. Let's upgrade that. So you think they love you. So now for you're accepting this abuse because this comes with their love. You have to love yourself correctly and hold space to teach people to love you correctly. And if they want to be with you and love you, they are going to change and be in alignment in loving you correctly. And this is not wrong for you to ask of yourself and others. And we do this with boundaries. And we maintain and carry on through love and forgiveness. Okay. We have home again. Okay, so all right. So our home, our bodies need to be sacred. Okay, our relationships need to be more sacred. So what energies are we inviting into our home? What energies are we inviting into our hearts, our bodies? Okay, how are we offering and giving? Okay, so how are these things helpful and loving, and how are these also possibly toxic or harmful? Okay, so clean up your energy, your beliefs, your perception, clean up your home. Where are these energies trapped? What's dirty? What's gross? What's collecting? What's dusty? What's ignored? What's unnecessary? Right? Clean the home. Get rid of things that have attachments that put you in sadness, put you into loss, put you into energies that are not serving a loving and a sacred space. Okay, we also have commitment here. So maybe we have blessings of commitment and home coming in. Okay, so this takes protection of trusting the vision and holding the vision and trusting the process. Okay, allowing these things and the blessings to come to you. Okay, yes, we can pick a home, but we might be picking something because it's convenient or we're on a timeline. Okay, so we need to pray for alignment, pray for our blessings to be clear. Okay. All right, we have new beginnings. All right, so new beginnings have more gas when we lessen attachments. Okay, so things that are falling apart, allow them to. Okay. What are the triggers around these things? How can I heal those things? Because when we loosen these attachments and lessen these triggers, it has less effect on how we're navigating and experiencing. So new beginnings are important to be fresh, without attachments, and from the healed place. So we need to take time to retreat to create this healed, sacred place. Okay. Okay, already talked about those things. Lightning, okay. Okay, we're going to talk about lightening your load. Okay, so our attachments through our fears. How are our fears navigating how we approach our relationships? So to seek resolution is always key, and that is by asking questions. If I can ask questions that create a belief that allow me to have an argument within my heart and brain that prevents these things from penetrating and making me lose course, okay, because we're navigating from our belief. what we know and how we feel. So if we can clear up these things, be more sovereign in ourselves, we're not going to have our fears influencing and penetrating our navigating ways. We're not going to have them penetrate and creating weight. We're not going to allow these things to be like, oh, I have a fear. Oh my God, I'm going to pack that with all these other things and give it, what's the word I'm looking for? False validation. Okay, we can very easily seek, see, give things validation and however we want to perceive them. Okay, but that might not necessarily be the truth. So we need to be focused on the truth, seeing the truth to navigate and walk in truth. Okay, so sometimes we're afraid of the truth because that destroys our illusion. Sometimes we're afraid of truth because it might hurt. Okay, but sometimes truth frees us, which is more important. Okay, so it frees us to make the right choices in our relationships, chooses us, allows us to choose in correctness. Okay, so if we're navigating from fear and all these things we've given validated from, we're now sabotaging. Okay, so now we created a truth that might not be true, and this is how we're navigating, and we could ruin our blessings. We could ruin everything that it has been worked so hard within ourselves and our surrounding efforts and support systems, being energetic ones. Okay, all right. Okay. Conflict and defeat. These are energies that will throw us in depression. These are energies that'll throw us in sabotage. These are energies that'll have us shut down. So it's important to acknowledge, make a list, and then conquer. Okay, why am I afraid of this? Why do I feel defeated? What can I do about it? Okay, so when we start asking ourselves better questions, we are now taking back that control. And then we have a place where, okay, I have my vision. I'm going to pray about it and allow this other energy to now become part of your world, not this bombarding, defeating, and shut down energy. Okay. Okay. So recognition and reward. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Recognizing these fears, recognizing these energies, making the efforts within ourselves to be more in correctness, truth, and alignment. Having answers for these fears. So every time they kind of sneak in, be like, this is what I think, this is what I believe. And then ourselves having more strength than all these other energies that are trying to influence. Okay. And then by doing so, we're going to navigate from a more neutral place, a loving place, more an aligned place, which is going to be in alignment to your blessings. Okay, so that's what that card is coming out at us saying. All right, we have deception and envy. Okay, when we find ourselves jealous and envious, it's because they have been doing work, they have blessings. We want those things. Okay, so it's very important for us to understand our feelings and ask ourselves, how can I better myself? How can I better my situation? It has nothing to do with them or their situations or blessings. Okay, be aware that it's possible. Not take what they have. Okay, ask yourself to be in alignment for your best possible outcome. How can I change my frequency to attract my blessings? Okay, so let's transform these negative energies, okay, deception, envy, jealousy. We can transmute this into a positive thing by asking ourselves better questions. How can I change? What can I do differently? How can I change my frequency to be in alignment with my blessings? Okay, this is the mantra. This is something we need to get into the reprogramming of this energy to be more in alignment with your blessings. Everyone has the birthright to these infinite blessings and energies. It's not a handout. Oh, you suck. Everyone has the right to tap in. Okay? Okay. Okay, kind of covered that. Okay. Okay. We have a card here, emotional loss. When our heart hurts. Okay. Heartache can be physical ache. It can break, it can hurt. Okay, so this requires your solitude. This requires you to retreat and validate your feelings. Okay, allow this grieving to happen because there is a loss in your world. There is a change in your world. There is going to be moving on without in your world. And this is going to take your strength, your consciousness, and your awareness. But this also has to happen after a period of time of being in these energies, because we can't just ignore them, because then we're going to shut down our heart. We're going to shut down our love. We're going to shut down this attraction and frequency we're putting out. So then we're not going to be attracting. We're going to be shut down, cold, and heartbroken. Okay, so there might be a new relationship coming for you. There might be a pet coming for you. There is always going to be death and loss within our families and surroundings. And that loss and pain is inevitable. There is absolutely no avoidance. Okay, so we can't avoid how we feel. We can pretend, but we can't ever escape. Okay, so sometimes we avoid solitude. We avoid time. We get busy, we get distracted, we have escapism habits. A lot of us do, and that could be a cocktail of things, right? So it's important to get real. Do not fall into these escapism traps. We need to honor our feelings in order to heal them. Okay, and this takes time and our consciousness and our compassion for ourselves. So we have to, take some time in bed and feel sad and cry and allow this pain to leave the body. Tears are toxins leaving the body and the cells. Okay? We have to process in order to move on with success. Okay? All right, creating balance within our energies. All right, so this comes down into how we're navigating our life. What energies are we in when we're choosing to do things? So if we're angry, upset, worried, in fear, in jealousy, we're not going to be choosing things that are in alignment. We're going to be choosing things in alignment to validating these feelings. We're going to be choosing to see things that validate these feelings. We're going to choose things that I'm going to choose movement because I feel this way, right? So that's going to take you away from your blessings. That's going to take away from your correctness and your best possible outcomes. Okay, so we have to be aware of what energy we're in when we're making decisions and choices. When we're loving, I'm going to say that holds space for the big picture. So you're not going to not see the fears and the flags. You're going to see the whole picture when you're coming at from loving, because why? You're compassionate to all things. You're compassionate to all possible outcomes, right? So when you're neutral and loving, you are going to see the bigger picture. Whereas when you're in fear, jealousy, or anger, you're kind of pinholed to one way and one thing. Okay, you're not seeing the big picture, right? I hope that makes sense. Okay, temptation. Temptation to escape, temptation to sabotage, temptation because you're not happy. All right. So if you're not happy in your relationships, you need to ask yourself, why are you in them? Sometimes temptations comes for us to ask ourselves these questions. Okay. So if we stay in these relationships, whether abusive or just convenient, it's because it's serving us in some way. We believe that it's a benefit. What is that benefit? Why do I believe this? How is this limiting my life and my experience and the quality of my living? Okay, so we need to be aware of, again, energies and why we are choosing things. What is the belief of benefits? Okay, if it's out of need, greed, self-serving, these things will always have a timeline, or these relationships will always have a timeline. We will always have set up for some level of failure because of the reason in which they started. Okay, our lifelong fairy tale stories are in our potential and possible, but we have to be patient. We have to be in alignment. We don't like that, so we'll pick what's convenient. This serves me this way. That I don't believe that even exists, so I'm just gonna navigate through this ebb and flow of garbage. Okay, but that's also a choice. You're choosing it. Okay, choose harmony, choose potential, possibility, infinite possibilities. And it all comes from your belief. And what does your belief do? It navigates your perception. Okay. Waiting game. Okay, patience. Have patience. Hold the vision. Trust the process. Patience is you being so committed and stubborn in your belief. Okay, and that could be, I don't want to say positive or negative, but again, within what energy you've chosen this belief, you're going to be so stubborn within it, and that's going to be how things play out. Okay, so if you're always wondering why things aren't always working out, why is there always a lesson attached? Why isn't this easy? Not easy, but why does this always have some kind of consequence? Okay. Well, what energy did you choose it? Why are you in this situation? What are the benefits you believe of the situation? Right? So when you know it's in truth and in alignment and from love and it's a blessing, it's going to be blessings across the board. Not to say things are going to be easy, because we're constantly learning and healing. But if we're doing the work of healing and shedding these necessary attachments to our fears and our traumas and dramas, things will have more blessings, more reward, will flow, will have movement. Okay, it'll have a frequency of blessings, not lessons. Okay, so the waiting game: pray, wait, receive. Everything requires our patience. So this needs to be extended to you for whatever reason. Allow patience for things to resolve. Allow patience for things to come. So if we are constantly shutting this down, we're never having the full experience that's going to allow us to believe deeper and have miracles and blessings show up. Okay? Right? So when we build this relationship with ourselves and spirit and the universe and the laws of nature, we are going to be spiritually stronger. Okay? We are going to be, I experienced something. I'm going to grow with that. I'm going to learn I can do this more. I can do this on a bigger level. What else can I do with this? Okay? So people can't take that wisdom and experience away from you, which is why also a lot of institutions say it's impossible. It doesn't exist. You need me in order to have this relationship. You need to pay me in order to have forgiveness and freedom. Okay? Okay. Let's tap into love, relationships. What do we need to talk about, look at, reflect upon? Okay. All right. Romantic feelings. Okay. So spring is in the air. Why not throw that out there? Okay. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Okay. So if we have belief systems, there is no such thing as love. We have a belief that nothing ever works out. Yes, you're correct, because that's what you believe, and that's your perception, and that's what you're allowing. Okay. So when we change our belief and our perception, we're going to change our frequency. And then we also have to give time for things to work out, for things to heal, for things to show up. Okay. So this is worth exploring. Okay. You deserve love. You're lovable. Everyone needs to hear this and believe this. Okay. Love yourself first. Okay. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. 100%. When you are loving yourself, holding space for yourself, being a product of quality, people are going to be like, wow, I want to get to know you. Wow, I wonder who they are, what they are about, right? They start asking questions about you. So you got to be careful what you allow in, because you're going to start attracting everyone and everything because you're shiny. Okay. So that's when you have to ask yourself, is this for me? Is this worth my exploring? Okay. Yes, you are. Everything's worth exploring, but have boundaries, have intent in why you're shiny and what you're attracting. Okay. So if you're attracting because everyone's for me. Okay, you're gonna have a lot of lessons and attachments, which may be pregnancy, disease, whatever. Okay, so what is it you're doing and why? Okay, so now I'm shiny, I'm of quality, I love myself, things are great, I'm attracting. So you have to have boundaries and intentions. Okay, and that's also asking, what are their intentions? Are we in alignment? So asking yourself better questions to safely navigate this beautiful energy. Okay. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations can help you bring you together. Okay, so yes, pray. Trust the vision, hold the process, hold that energy. Believe that you are worth love, will be loved, and will find love. Okay, but be careful of the lessons and the traps along the way, because I don't want to say, oh, the universe keeps throwing me all these traps to see if I've learned and grown. When you are learned and grown, you're not going to fall for these traps. So ask yourself, why do I keep falling to these traps? Not why the universe keeps sending me traps. Okay, because when you have shifted and learned and healed within yourself, you're not going to fall into those traps and those lessons, because those lessons aren't for you anymore. Okay, that's simple. Okay, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Yes. So when things are going to be in your blessing wheelhouse, you will be guided. You're going to have this, I don't know why I need to talk to you, but I'm going to reach out and make this effort. You know, you can always take step backs when you move slow. When you move slowly, you allow things to be present, be truthful, be honest, and be the blessings for you. Okay, so when we run into things because something looks good, those are traps or lessons, because we're not operating from the right intent ourselves. Okay, but when you are praying for this soulmate, you're praying for this experience, you're going to be guided. Okay, and how do I know? Because you're taking the time for it to be real. Okay. All right, we have passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Okay, so joy is presence of God. Joy is presence of love and blessings. Joy is the result of us being in loving and correct energies. Okay, so this is a blessed state which we can navigate and heal ourselves to be. Okay. Yes, we're going to have things that knock us off our horse. Yes, we're going to have things that are sad. Yes, there's going to be things we can't avoid. But when we are loving people and navigating within ourselves and our higher being and our higher potential, we're going to experience joy more regularly, because that is a choice. We're choosing to navigate and live this way. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I love this. Free yourself. There's a unicorn. I love unicorns. Okay, so it's time to take back control of your life. And this is exactly everything we're talking about here, is navigating in your truth, your wisdom, your belief, your perception. So when we clear all that stuff up, you are freeing yourself. You're freeing your soul, your heart, and your mind to be clear, to be in truth and in alignment. Okay, and that's when you're going to experience yourself in the most joyful and highest frequency of infinite potential. Okay. Okay. What other messages do we have? Okay, these are just cards I've written. Oh, I don't want to shuffle that way. I just messed them up. Okay, let's do this. All right. A wise man makes his own decisions. An ignorant man follows the public opinion. That's a Chinese proverb. Okay. So we need to navigate from our own wisdom, our own knowledge. Okay. We need to be able to listen and process and have critical thinking. Okay. So if we are just navigating because our institution told us to be this way, or we've been educated to feel this way, or our family has been brainwashed to be this way, we need to be able to have critical thinking, choose for ourselves, because we are responsible for our own experience. So when we take that seriously, you're going to change your world, your life, and what you're going through. Okay. We also have, you have no friends, you have no enemies, you only have teachers. Okay. So love everybody. Everyone has a message and experience to share with you. There's something to be learned from everybody. So when you view everybody as a teacher, you're going to change how you navigate amongst people. Okay, so these toxic relationships that I was talking about earlier, these toxic workplaces I was talking about earlier, what is this teaching me? Okay, is this teaching me I need to be self-employed and not in these environments? Is this teaching me I need to be in a better pond? Okay, so then you gotta start asking yourself better questions. Okay, and that goes from friends, places, things, like whatever. Broaden that out. Okay. All right, so this is just confirmation of what we were just talking about earlier. Okay. Okay, this is kind of a prayer. May you break the pattern. May you recognize it even when it shows up in new form. Okay, so this is something you're asking yourself. This is helping shift that energy of why do I keep falling into these traps and lessons, right? So this is asking yourself to, how do I learn, heal, and grow to recognize these things and move forward into my blessings, not lessons. Okay, so you can come up with your own prayers around such things to help you be in better alignment to your best possible outcome. All right, one last card. Okay. All right. Cancel, clear, delete. All right. Use only positive words and thoughts as they are rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. All right. So we are programmable beings. So by understanding the concept of I'm canceling these feelings, I'm canceling these attachments to these fears and dramas, I'm clearing my energy, which is navigating my perception and beliefs, and I'm deleting everything that isn't serving me. Okay, so this is just an awesome way of processing and being able to reprogram the self to be more neutral and loving and not influenced by everything else. Okay, so again, asking the angels for love and support because they are part of your team and require your permission. All right, everybody, till next time.